Good evening and welcome to this week's penultimate edition of Primetime News. Many thanks for joining me. I'm Michael Madimba. Tonight's bulletin commences from the Bank of Namibia, where Governor Johannes Gawakap earlier today explained yesterday's Monetary Policy Committee decision to increase the repo rate by 25 basis points to 7%. Let's listen into what the governor had to say.
You need to allow me, because I need to explain this now in plain language, so that we all understand and get on the same page. Most of the inflation that we are seeing currently and most of the increases in prices in Namibia are externally driven. We had COVID-19 that we all know started in somewhere in 2020. The world was hit by both supply and demand shocks. Of COVID-19, you remember we had so many restrictions, lockdowns. People couldn't shop as they used to. We had a lot of factories that closed. Factories could not produce goods, and there was a shortage of services. So the demand for goods and services were simply greater than the supply for those. And whenever you have got anything that's scarce, the prices really increase. So that is the first big driver of what we are seeing. The second driver of the increase in prices that we see is the geopolitical development in Russia and Ukraine. Do you know what has happened? Russia is a big producer of fuel. Between the two of them, they produce about 40% of wheat, global wheat, and that has increased the prices of bread that we are eating in Namibia if we import wheat. And that basically fuel transport or fuel cost and transport inflation and the prices of food, those are the two main drivers. It's nothing to do with leadership in the country that has done anything wrong. It's nothing to do with the Bank of Namibia that's all of a sudden deciding to increase rates.
We switch attention to the Ministry of Defense and Veterans Affairs, where Minister Frans Kapofi expressed disappointment over the deplorable living conditions of men and women in uniform in the army. Emilia Kambuta compiled the story.
Those of us who are here is to make sure that the system we have, our troops, wherever they are, whether they are flying their helicopters, whether they are sailing their ships, whether they are in their battle tanks, they are oiled, they are serviced, whether they are in these special forces. It is our responsibility here to ensure that those men and women, wherever they are deployed, are well looked after. We are not here to represent our own interest. We are not here to do anything else but to ensure that our men and women in formations are well looked after. And I'm not sure whether we are doing that. Every drive, every drop of fuel that we drive around on duty here must ensure that our men in the sea are safe and secure. That is the mission. That is the mission. Once goods are delivered to you, then it is for you to make sure that they reach their destinations. They are kept in safe custody. Be it armaments, be it trucks, be it uniforms, be it everything. That is your responsibility to make sure that our men and women in those units are catered, including provisions of meals.
Meanwhile, Minister Frans Kapofi has implored on the members of the Namibian Defence Force to treat veterans in a dignified manner. Kapofi noted the ministry has received complaints on how the members talk to the veterans in a manner that is devoid of empathy.
We receive visits, letters and phone calls from the veterans of the liberation struggle all the time, because we are the custodians of the programs dealing with their welfare. Many a times they complain about how we receive them, how we receive and talk to them, and the lack of empathy we seem to show when dealing with their issues. My dear colleagues, I would like to plead with you, like I have done on some occasions as I have met with you, especially the staff directly working with our veterans, to show empathy to them. These are people who sacrifice their all to ensure that we enjoy the freedom and the various opportunities we have today. Let us be empathetic when attending to them. Let me at the same time thank those of you that have excelled in ensuring the provisions of services to our people with great respect and humility. Please continue to do so, to do the best you can. Our veterans, most of them are at an advanced age. We need to ensure that we attend and try to resolve their issues on time, because they may not have much time left to be with us.
Moving on to some alarming health statistics. The Cancer Association of Namibia Chief Executive Officer Rolf Hansen on Wednesday revealed that 5 children are diagnosed with a form of cancer in Namibia every week. Shelva Wills filed this report.
The Cancer Association of Namibia Chief Executive Officer Rolf Hansen stated that leukemia is still the most commonly diagnosed childhood cancer worldwide, including Namibia, with neuroblastoma, retinoblastoma and brain tumor close behind. He said psychosocial support for families affected by a childhood cancer diagnosis in their inner circle is critical, especially since cancer is typically diagnosed in adults rather than children and the relationship between the parents frequently deteriorates. Hansen emphasized the importance of early detection of childhood cancer, access to life-saving essential medicine, and the right to appropriate and high-quality medical treatment. During the same event, Monique Klute, Managing Director of Liberty Namibia, stated that Chika the Bear, an initiative to raise funds for the Cancer Association of Namibia, was launched on 15 February 2022 for International Childhood Cancer Awareness Day, with the goal of establishing an initiative that will become a household name across Namibia and create the same kind of awareness for children fighting cancer that Pink October and November do for adults.
Stand by for your top roundup. Welcome to Primetime Biz, where business and economics are the primary focus. We kickstart the segment with the blue economy. The Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources raised 110 million Namibian dollars from an auction of 12,300 metric tons of hake under the 15,000 metric tons governmental objective fishing quota held on 16 December 2022. This amount also includes 10,000 Namibian dollars raised from application fees. Isabel Bento filed this insert.
A media release issued recently by the Ministry of Finance indicated that the sales has shown improvement in price from the reserve price of 7,000 Namibia dollars to an average of 8,592 Namibia dollars 55 cents for wet hake, and from 9,000 Namibia dollars to 10,207 Namibia dollars 41 cents for freezer hake. The total amount allocated for wet fish was 82,488,500 Namibia dollars, while that allocated for freezer fish was 27,560,000 Namibia dollars, amounting to over 110 million Namibia dollars in total. Unallocated fishing quotas are 2,700 metric tons. The Minister of Fisheries, Finance and Public Enterprises describes the auction as a success and said auction remains a good mechanism to facilitate price discovery in the sector and allocate natural resources to the market.
On to matters pertaining to housing. The City of Windhoek Municipal Council earlier today handed over 8 houses to 8 beneficiaries valued at 6.8 million Namibian dollars under the Affordable Housing Pilot Program. Emilia Kambuta compiled the story.
As I stand before you with much pride, gratitude and renewed hope for the future of affordable housing, it is indeed a great accomplishment for us to reconvene here 5 months after the groundbreaking ceremony, which was held in September 2022 at this very location. I'm also joyful because just last week, Monday, we handed over 60 houses under the informal settlement upgrading project at the Samora Machel constituency. I think we are moving. Some people, when we are giving, a number of houses, some are saying, it's just too few. It's few, yes. That is what we can afford. If you are not happy, the beneficiaries are happy, isn't it? I'll be happy if I'm receiving. And then tomorrow we move to another person. That person will also be happy. You who is far, you are complaining, it's too little, it's too few. No, other people are happy. So we'll just try to do with little until we reach each and every one, although it's a struggle. Yes, that's how we do. Today, we are here once again to hand over houses under the City of Windhoek to the residents of Khomasdal constituency. This clearly shows me that there is a lot of focus and hard work, presence and faith in God's plan. Anything is possible.
That's where we leave it with the top news for this evening. Stay tuned for the economics roundup followed by the weather forecast. Welcome to Sport Planet. Football funding and revenues dominate the segment. FIFA on Wednesday announced an increased budget of over $2 billion and the 2023-2026 cycle for its FIFA Forward program. The World Football Governing Body said the FIFA Forward 3.0 program, laid out by FIFA President Gianni Infantino in January, will provide $2.25 billion to develop the sport worldwide. The program has increased its budget in every cycle since it was launched in 2011, with $328 million in the first version, $1.2 million in the second, and $1.7 million in the 2019 to 2022 cycle, according to FIFA statistics. In the last cycle, FIFA Forward provided each member association with an investment of $6 million to finance operational needs and development projects, and the funding is expected to be $8 billion over a 4-year period in 2023 to 2026. FIFA Forward helps to grow football in the world with the income generated by the World Football's body's governance source, like the World Cup. Meanwhile, FIFA has approved the annual report 2022 with a record-breaking revenue of $7.6 billion during the 2019 to 2022 cycle. In a press statement released on Tuesday, Infantino said the resounding success of the FIFA World Cup 2022 in Qatar has been key to the organization's ability to fulfill its mission in relation to its member associations and the world of football, despite the multiple challenges they faced during the past cycle, not least the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the report, the FIFA Council expected to earn $11 billion more during the 2023-2026 period. Staggering numbers there. Stand by for your sports roundup. This is where the Thursday Primetime News edition ends. Many thanks for watching. Do make a date with us tomorrow for the week's last newscast. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire crew behind the scenes, it's good night.